Today we are going to learn about triglycerides. We learned about the chemical reaction yesterday. We are going to learn in continuity of the same lecture. Now, if you guys remember, yesterday we learned that lipids, they are made up of two things. They are made by joining one glycerol molecule with three fatty acids, and then we get one triglyceride molecule. We also learned the structure of a glycerol molecule yesterday. We learned that one glycerol molecule has 3 carbon atoms, and at each carbon atom there is a hydroxyl group attached, and rest are what? Hydrogens. Right? Now, let's suppose that first of all what happens? One fatty acid, we have already discussed about the fatty acids yesterday, that there are saturated fatty acids and unsaturated fatty acids. Right now we are not discussing whether they are saturated or unsaturated. And if you guys remember, yesterday I wrote the fatty acid like this. Right? Now, this over here, this is the carboxylic acid group, right? And this R represents the hydrocarbon chain. It can be a 16 carbon chain, 18 carbon chain, 20 carbon chain, doesn't matter right now, right? Now, what will happen? I told you guys that hydroxyl of this and hydrogen of this, they will join together, and in that response, one molecule of water will be removed. And which kind of reaction is this? Condensation reaction. And when this condensation reaction will happen, I will write it like this. Now, this oxygen is left, right? So this carbon will make the bond with this oxygen, and this compound will be formed. Now, it has OH over here, OH over here, and rest is this. Now, if you guys remember, we discussed this, that this bond is called what? An ester bond, or it can also be referred as ester linkage. Right? Now, with this glycerol molecule, one fatty acid is attached. With this glycerol molecule, one fatty acid is attached. We will call this molecule as monoglyceride. We'll call this molecule as monoglyceride. Understand? Now, let's discuss the second reaction. Now look here, we have what? Again, a glycerol molecule. We have OH, 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 and rest are hydrogen. Now this time, what happens? That there are two fatty acids are there. Right? Now, what will happen? That this hydroxyl will join with this hydrogen. This hydroxyl will join with this hydrogen. Alright? Now, in this case, what will happen? There will be loss of 2 water molecules. There will be loss of 2 water molecules. Now, when there will be loss of 2 water molecules, the new compound which we will get will be like this. OC double bond OR. OC double bond OR. Rest is H, H, H. Here is OH, H, H. Now in this compound, we have 2 ester linkages or 2 ester bonds, 1 and 2. Right? Now this one with one glycerol molecule, 2 fatty acids are attached now. This will be called as a diglyceride. This will be called as diglyceride. We can continue a third chemical reaction. We will practice these chemical reactions at home. Alright? Again, what do we have? We have a glycerol molecule. With each carbon, there is hydroxyl, and rest of the valency is completed with what? Hydrogen. This time, what do we have? We have 3 carboxylic acids or fatty acids. Right? Now what will happen? Hydroxyl from here and hydrogen from here. Hydrogen from here, hydroxyl from here. Hydrogen from here, hydroxyl from here. Right? Now there will be removal of how much? 3 molecules of water. Right? And when 3 molecules of water will be removed, there will be formation of 3 ester linkages. Now, if you see this, 1 ester linkage, 2nd ester linkage, and 3rd ester linkage, right? Now, 3 fatty acids are bound together, and this one will be called as a triglyceride. Now, let me tell you one thing, that these R chains, they can be of different length. They can be of different length. They can be of same length. Understand? And these all can be saturated or all can be unsaturated. Understand? Or maybe this one is saturated and these two are unsaturated. It depends on type of the triglyceride or from the type of plant or organism we got the triglyceride. Understood? Now, remember one thing, all the fats which we get from the animal sources, they are solid. And all the fats we get from the plant sources, they are liquid. We have already discussed that. Right? And the amount of energy available in a lipid molecule or fat molecule depends on the length of the R chain. Right? Remember the definition of respiration I told you, the advanced one. The breakdown carbon-hydrogen bond releases the energy, right? More longer the chain, more number of carbon-hydrogen bonds, so more energy will be there. Understood? Now there are other types of lipids as well, but not in your syllabus. They are not in your syllabus. One type of lipids, they are called terpenes, not in your syllabus. Steroids are also a type of lipids. Right? Steroids are also a type of lipids. Cholesterol comes under the category of what? Steroids. Right? Now, do we need these steroids in our body? Yes. We do need them, but in a required quantity. More than that is obviously bad. Do we need cholesterol in our diet? Yes. Yes. But in a limited or required quantity. Another thing, that cholesterol is also made inside our liver, right? So if we take extra cholesterol, that will be you see excess, because our liver is already making the cholesterol for ourselves. Understand? Cholesterol is a type of this, you see, steroid, right? Cholesterol is required for different purposes, but it is also required in our cell membrane. It is a component of our cell membrane. We'll discuss it when, inshallah, we'll discuss it in chapter number 4. So this is the triglyceride. Now we are going to talk about phospholipids. Now, phospholipids is not difficult to understand. Now look here. Here, first of all, you see, before we start studying about the phospholipid, let me use this space. Now I am writing the formula H3 PO4. What is the name of this compound? H3PO4. What is the name of this compound? Embarrassing. Phosphoric acid. Phosphoric acid. Now I am going to write down its structural formula. Now P will come in the middle. Does anyone know what is the valency of phosphorus? 5. You can see it. Now look here. This is the structural formula of phosphoric acid. If you count 3 hydrogen H3, 1 P and 4 oxygen, 1, 2, 3, 4, H3PO4. Can you see that, right? This is also referred as phosphate group. Also referred as phosphate group, right?
In periodic table?
Not in the periodic table. How can a compound be in a periodic table? A compound cannot be in a periodic table. Elements are there.
Sir, phosphor.
Phosphorus is in the periodic table. This is phosphoric acid and also called as phosphate group because of this whole structure. Got it?
Yes.
Now keep this in mind and come over here. Now this is the same phosphate group which is also present in the ATPs. Right? Now come over here. We have glycerols. Right? Now hydrogen over here. Then please pay attention. Here first reaction will be between phosphate group.
Sir, what is called phosphate group? This structure?
Yes, sir.
Oh.
This phosphoric acid H3PO4.
Oh.
If I remove this hydrogen, this hydrogen, I can represent it like this. Negative charge on the oxygen, right? And at this time it will be plus 3 hydrogen ions. It means that hydrogen has left its electron, right? And as it has extra electron, now it is positive, negative charge, and this one will be positive charge, right? So this phosphoric acid is over here. Then here we have, let me use some other color for that. We have the normal RC double bond O OH. RC double bond O OH, this. Right? Now what will happen? This hydrogen and this hydroxyl. This hydrogen, this hydroxyl. This hydrogen, this hydroxyl. There will be loss of what? 3 molecules of what? Understand? Now the new compound which you will get, please pay attention, will be like this. And let me use the other color for this. Right? So this is what is formed. Here the acetal linkage is between phosphate and oxygen and this carbon. Understand?
So this reaction was between phosphoric acid
and glycerol. At one carbon, carbon number 1, there is reaction between phosphate group and the carbon. But at carbon 2 and 3, there is reaction between the fatty acids. Understand? Now, this is the compound which we have got, in which at this carbon we have the phosphate group. What do we have? The phosphate group, right? While these two are what? Fatty acids. These two are what? Fatty acids. Now, if this compound is dissolved in water, if this compound is dissolved in water, this is how it will appear. As I told you, if I dissolve this one in the water, where this was there, if I dissolve this in the water, it will become like this. Hydrogen will be gone as ions, right? And oxygen will have negative charge on it. If I dissolve this in water, then it will appear like this. Please pay attention. O negative. O negative. Can you see that or not? Because the two hydrogen from here, they will dissociate as hydrogen ions. And this will appear like this. O C double bond O R. O C double bond O R.
Sir, why negative? It's losing.
Very good. Plus 2 hydrogen ions. It's losing hydrogen ions.
Not electrons.
Not electrons.
Oh.
Hydrogen went away, giving its electron to it, right?
Okay.
So hydrogen became positive in charge. Yesterday's lecture, remember that, right? And it will become negative charge. It means that phosphate group is charged. While these R chains, these are what? Non-charged. They have no charge at all.
Neutral.
Understand? Neutral. We call, now, to this, we can also represent this structure without chemical formulation like this. Now, don't worry. If I pick this up from here, these two will become what? Straight. If I pull it from here, it will become up and these two will come down like this.
They will extend into a straight.
Exactly. Right? So this over here, this is referred as phosphate head. What is it called? Phosphate head. PO4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see? Can you see?
Yes.
Phosphate head. And these are called as
Legs.
R tails. Hydrocarbon tails. Understand? Now, if you see, I made a bend over here. Who will tell me, remembering yesterday's lecture, why this bend is over here? Yes?
Double bond.
Excellent answer. Because over here, we have a double bond. So it is representing that one chain is saturated, straight chain. And one chain is unsaturated, has one double bond, and where there is a double bond, there is a bend. Right? Now this is what? This is a phospholipid. This is a phospholipid. You should just remember, when I was telling you and giving you ideas about the structure of the cell membrane, what did I say to you guys? Cell membrane is made up of
Phospholipids.
is made up of what? Phospholipids. Now, also keep one thing in your mind. Polar attracts polar, right?
And polar.
And polar repels non-polar. You have learned that or not?
Yes.
Like attracts like. And also remember yesterday's lecture of water. Water is what? A polar compound. Water is a polar compound. Now let me just draw a cell. Let's suppose this is a cell. And this is what? This is cell membrane. Right? Inside the cell there is cytoplasm. And outside the cell there is tissue fluid. Now sometimes this tissue fluid is also referred as extracellular fluid. Now we have learned about the tissue fluid in grade 10. We will learn again inshallah about the tissue fluid in chapter number 6, I think so, in the circulatory system chapter. Now the composition of cytoplasm and the tissue fluid is same. They have same amount of water. If there is 90% water over here, there is 90% water outside. Both of these solutions are isotonic. I have taught you this. Both of these solutions are isotonic, and word iso means same. Tonic means solutes. The concentration of solutes is same. Outside, inside. 90%, 90%. Solvents are also same. And remember, water is what? Polar. Water is what? Polar. Right? So as water is on the outside, water is on the inside, water is polar, inside water is polar, outside. And cell membrane is made up of what? Phospholipids. Like attracts like. Keep all these concepts in your mind. And let's see now.
They will dissolve.
Now what will happen?
It will dissolve.
No, how can it dissolve?
Polar attract.
Please pay attention. This is phospholipid bilayer. This is one layer of phospholipid. This is one layer of phospholipid. We call it phospholipid bilayer. There is water over here. I am mentioning it like this. Partial positive, partial negative, partial positive.
So, but the entire part will not be attracting it. Someone also will be repelling it, right?
Sorry?
So, not the entire part.
Don't worry, I am going there. Explaining that, inshallah. Look here. Water is polar, and head of the phospholipid is what? Polar. So heads will be attracted towards the water. So heads will be facing the cytoplasm. This is extracellular fluid, right? Let me draw a line over here. And let me write H over here.
Sir, polar dissolves, right?
Sir, do it. We have patience. Yes. Give me a second. Now, this is water, right? Right? This is polar, and this is extracellular fluid, tissue fluid. Heads will be attracted towards what? Towards the water. Right? Now, according to him, he is correct. Polar dissolves the polar. So, heads part will be dissolved in the water. But the tails, they are non-polar. Not dissolved in the water. Cell membrane is a physical structure, right? And by looking at this, cell membrane is maintained by the presence of water. If the water is inside and outside, then the phospholipids can be aligned in this way. That the tails will be on the inner side and heads will be on the outer side. And this is how, you see, all around over here, the phospholipid bilayer is here. Because of the presence of water outside, because of the presence of water inside. This is just an idea. There is a massive topic about the structure of the cell membrane, which we'll learn inshallah in chapter number 4. Everyone understood this?
Yes, sir.
Alright?